Okay. Ready, guys? All right.
No.
Welcome to Bleav in Rams, brought to you by FanDuel. Erin Coscarelli, of course, alongside my guy, Tyler Dragon of USA Today. I'm in a different location. We'll get to
Yes.
that in a moment. But of course, do all the things. Subscribe, comment, rate this podcast. You can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us weekly on FanDuel SoCal weekly. And we've got a lot to get into because,
Mhm.
it was a heartbreaking loss this week, week 3, when the Rams went to Philly. Matthew Stafford looked good, or certainly his back was feeling good.
Yeah.
The rest of the team, and it was certainly a tale of two halves, and it didn't end well. Taking their first L against Philly, and Sean McVay still winless against Nick Sirianni. We're going to get into all of this. We're going to talk about who's up and who's on deck momentarily for the Rams as they look to get back into the win column. But real quick, um, what was your immediate reaction after the game? I think all of our jaws dropped to the floor, but I'm curious to get your take, Tyler.
I had a lot of reactions. I mean, the Rams, number one, they outplayed the Eagles. But when
Completely.
you are a champion caliber football team, the opponent that the champion is playing has to, like, for lack of a better words, just beat them bad. Like, impose their will and shut the game. Make sure that they win the game. They can't leave a champion like a window of opportunity because then they show their championship medal. And
Mm,
we saw that last year. Well, I forget what week it was with the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember they blocked a field goal with the Denver
mm-hmm.
Broncos
Mm-hmm.
and continued their, winning streak. Same thing this year. The Rams, they stopped Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was pretty much shut down the entire game. They had momentum throughout the game, but the red zone, that's what really stuck out to me. The red
Mm-hmm.
zone
Mm.
inefficiency. They went 1-4 in the red zone. There were multiple opportunities where Stafford couldn't link up with Devontae Adams, or just things just broke down in the red zone where they had to settle for a field goal. And I think when they look back at the tape, they were kicking themselves like, man, we left so many points on the board, and our red zone inefficiency is what really cost us the game. Yes, you can look at those two field goal blocks, and those were huge plays by the Eagles, and you can point to
Mm-hmm.
the line not being able to block up front better. But Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, we mentioned them before the podcast. Those are two of the best
Mm-hmm.
defensive tackles in the NFL, probably the best defensive tackle tandem in the NFL. And so they're going to cause havoc on all teams with field goals and all opposing offenses and whatnot. But really, to me, it was their red zone inefficiency and not just shutting the door shut on a championship caliber team like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that went right. There was quite a bit that went wrong. Like you said, the red zone coming out only one time in 4 trips with a score. And there's a lot to break down with this one because they were there. It was just they didn't close it out. And it's like everybody wants to find somebody to blame, but at the end of the day, they did not string together. They were not able to at the back end down the stretch complete the game, and it was a tale of two halves for you. What do you think the issues were when it came to the red zone? Let's just start there. Why do you think that they were inefficient there?
Well, one, you have to give credit to the Eagles defense. The Eagles defense is pretty good. They have a really good front seven. They
Yeah,
have.
but I mean, if you take a look at Kyren and Blake, Kyren had the Rams rushed for over 100 yards in the
Yeah.
first half.
Yeah.
So explain
So,
to me why they couldn't figure it out in the second.
well, teams make adjustments, and good teams, good coaches, they make adjustments. And then when you get in the red zone, one of the reasons why it's tougher to score is because the field condenses down. Which, I mean, a lot of people know that already, but and defensive coordinators call different looks in the red zone to try to force you to kick a field goal, try to get you to make quicker decisions. And
Mm-hmm.
the receivers don't have the room to operate as they did maybe on their own 20-yard line. And maybe they stack the box a little bit more. It's just there's so many different factors, but to me, what I saw is just a lack of execution on the Rams. I mean, there were some times where Devontae Adams was open and Stafford just missed him, or the offensive line,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't blocking good enough up front and kind of got pressure under with Stafford, and things broke down that way. So to me, you have to give credit on both sides. I do
Mm-hmm.
think the silver lining for Rams and Rams fans is they played well enough to beat the Eagles. And now the
Mm-hmm.
last two games, they played well
Mm-hmm.
enough to beat the Eagles. And
Yeah.
really, if we're a block field goal away from beating two block field goals away from beating the Eagles. So if you look at it, the silver lining is you can play with the defending Super
Yeah.
Bowl champions.
Absolutely.
You can compete with them. And so that you take that, and yes, it's wins and losses at the end of the day. You got a L, but they can know in the back of their minds that they're as good as anybody and they can compete with anybody in the NFL. And that's something
Mm-hmm.
positive, optimistic that they can take away from week 3.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you just said it. Week 3, it's good to figure out sort of these kinks in the armor when it comes to earlier in the season. Kyren Williams talked about it in his post game interview that they're going to learn a lot from this game, and I think that's a great way to look at it. Their pass defense, they really certainly missed Akella Witherspoon, obviously getting torched by AJ Brown the second half. I remember we were talking about like maybe he's going to have AJ Brown's going to he hasn't had an explosive game yet. Maybe this is going to be the game. And it certainly was, bringing up what I think he finished with 109 receiving yards on the day. But like you said, the good news is Saquon was virtually rendered useless the entire game. And I think that has got to feel good when you're stringing together consistent efforts from your pass defense. We're seeing amazing gameplay out of Nate Landman, obviously
Mm-hmm.
Jared Verse. Byron Young is a darn monster. I
Yeah.
think these, even though it's against the Eagles and it kind of stings in a way that like another team wouldn't certainly feel that way. Like you said, they were in the ring and they stayed in the ring with the Eagles till the very end. It
Yeah.
should have been a W for the Rams, except for those two unfortunate situations that happened. And it's also a bummer that, on the stat line, Josh Carty takes like it makes it, but it's not Josh Carty's fault. I think like he's been so efficient
Mm-hmm.
when his number's been called. I was a little bummed to see a lot of people talking about Josh Carty. Another thing that people have been talking about on the socials is Tutu Atwell. The guy got paid 10 million bucks, and people are chirping
No
all over
smoke.
the place because if you look at the efficiency of Stafford and Puka and Devontae and how much production they're getting, I think Tutu had one target and it was incomplete. How do we feel about what people are saying on it, on the social media about is he worth how much they paid him this offseason, considering what 33 passes and 23 of them went to both Puka and Devontae?
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that because I was in Sean McVay's video press conference, I think yesterday, and somebody asked him, it may have been my friend Gary Klein from the LA Times, but they said, how can you get him involved when you have players like Jordan Whittington getting targets?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Devontae and Puka getting all the targets, but Tutu Atwell's been kind of the missing in action. And Sean McVay pretty much said that he's still running good routes. He's just not, for whatever reason, the ball is not coming to him. And he didn't express any concern. He said there are going to be some games where he gets more targets.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
right now, it's just within the flow of the offense, he's not getting those looks. Now, a lot of that is coach speak, and a lot of that is Stafford throwing the ball to his best playmakers. And there's nothing wrong with that because
Mhm.
if I'm a quarterback, I'm throwing the football to Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua. So at the end of the day, he's your number 3 receiver.
Mhm.
And when you count Kyren Williams, I mean, Tyler Higbee, he might be your 5th option, maybe, but he is a deep threat. He is a guy that you can utilize his speed, can break the top off of the defense, and you can even run gadget plays with him. So you would like to see him involved more in the offense, especially as a deep threat, maybe run some jet sweeps, reverses, but we'll
Mhm.
see. At the end of the day, it was week 3. It's now week 4. There's still
Yep.
time for him to get more involved.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe it's just, you know what, you got Puka and Devontae. Like,
Right.
we'll talk about Puka in a moment because I was noticing well before people were talking about Puka, I was like, oh, this is gonna go real well for Puka this season. But we need to pay some sponsors really quickly. Listen, I don't know if you've had to go and look for talent outside when it comes to hiring. But finding a great candidate to hire, Tyler, I don't know if you know this, it can be like finding a needle in a haystack. Okay.
It
Sorting
can.
through resumes it's not fun. Of course, not enough necessarily candidates with the right skills or experience. But I have good news. The future is bright. It's so much brighter in hiring because ZipRecruiter's latest tools and features help speed up finding the right people for your roles. So you save, Tyler, valuable time when you're looking for that special candidate. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/audio. And you can see if a candidate really is interested in you. You can unlock their contact info instantly. Over 320,000 new resumes are added to ZipRecruiter's database monthly, which means you can reach out to more potential hires. So, of course, no wonder ZipRecruiter is the number 1 rated hiring site based on ziprecruiter.com. Go there /audio. Okay. Use ZipRecruiter, save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers. This is an important stat. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter, they get a quality candidate within the first day.
Wow.
That's quick.
That is
That's
very
fast. That's
good.
efficient. Um,
Unlike
okay,
the Rams red zone.
there you go. I wanted to throw in a football stat. I'm like, I'm going to let Tyler do that. Yeah, so if you go to
Mhm.
ziprecruiter.com/audio right now, you can try it for free. And again, that's ziprecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Listen, we're busy. We
Yeah.
need efficiency. Like you
Yeah.
said, you know what? That's what Sean McVay is saying to his team, probably right after the game. And he's still talking about efficiency today.
Maybe he's on
So,
ZipRecruiter trying to find resumes for field goal kick. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I am just joking. Maybe more blockers up front during the field goal unit. Maybe he's recruiting using ZipRecruiter for that.
yeah.
Maybe.
Listen, it's not going to get any easier for the Rams because they're also going to be facing in week 4 an undefeated team. We'll get to that in a moment. But so let's be glass half full at this point, okay?
Mhm.
The last 2 weeks, as I was talking about the run game, Kyren Williams Corum and Blake Corum. Blake Corum, your favorite. They've
Mhm.
rushed for 258 yards combined. And I would say the other thing that I was very impressed by, of course, is now Puka's third straight game of 90 plus yards. He had 11 catches for 112 yards against the Eagles, against that defense. And I mean, is this the Devontae effect, or is this just Puka really finding again, emerging into the star wideout that he always kind of was, but now he's just getting more and more comfortable?
It's a little bit of both. I've
Mm,
seen for multiple games now the opposing team's number 1 cornerback has been shadowing Devontae Adams, and that allows Puka Nakua to be covered by the number 2 or maybe even sometimes number 3 cornerback, a slot
Mhm.
cornerback. And right now, Puka Nakua is having a monster season, leads the NFL in receptions and receiving yards. He
Mhm.
hasn't gotten into the end zone yet, but you know that's coming. And the way that he is playing, the connection that he has with Matthew Stafford is evident. I mean, it's
Mhm.
almost every time he throws the ball, you're like, okay, it's probably going to Puka. But I really do think he is playing well. He's on like an offensive player of the year pace right now.
Mm.
And I mean, I can't say triple crown because he doesn't have a touchdown reception, but leading the league in receptions and receiving yards after week 3 is a huge compliment to his
Mhm.
skills as a receiver, and also Stafford and his rapport with Stafford. So, yeah, I do think it's a little bit of both. It's Devontae Adams being covered by a Mitchell or whomever the top cornerback is on the opposing team. So it's been a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly been impressive. Like you said, every time the ball gets, he's making insane catches. And just the fact that him and Devontae, that I feel like that's what's the most frustrating about this Eagles win or the Rams loss is this team is firing on all cylinders.
Mhm.
Pass rush looks good. The run game, the offensive line struggled, but that was because there were some issues with injuries.
Yeah.
Steve Avila not available, and Bo Limmer had to go in, and you just saw massive missed opportunities there. And then, of course, obviously Stafford had that interception.
Hmm.
But let's move the ball forward. We're going to move the chains because now it's week 4. All right. We're talking week 4. And if, the Rams, of course, coming back to SoFi. Yeah, it's not going to get easier. They are taking on the Colts, 1:05 p.m. kick on Sunday
Hmm.
in Inglewood. And if you go on FanDuel Sportsbook, the Rams are favored by 3.5. Do you feel like that's a fair assessment?
I think that's fair. Yes. I
Okay.
think I think that's fair from FanDuel. I mean, I might have to go on. No, I'm not going to place a bet, but I might tell my friends to place a bet on FanDuel. However, I will say this: this is a measuring stick game for the
Uh,
Colts. I don't.
ooh.
I. I'm not a believer in the Colts yet. The Colts have to prove to me that their record isn't a fluke. Right now, I think their record is a fluke. And I'm still not a believer in Daniel Jones because of past history. I got PTSD from Daniel Jones and the Giants. So I really do think that this is a measuring stick game for the Colts. This is their toughest test yet. And
Mm.
to me, that 3.5 point spread by FanDuel, it's accurate. However, I have the Rams winning by more than 3 or 4.
I mean, look, it's good to ask those questions. It's good to assess it because, yeah, Daniel Jones right now, and this is maybe a metric that's not accurate based on the teams that they played, but he's leading the league's number 2 offense in total yards per game and the
Yeah,
number 2 scoring offense, right? They're tied with the
crazy.
Lions. So, could you say that that's a little skewed? Because I think at the end of the day, um, Rams have a little PTSD coming off that game against the Eagles. Thinking that this is going to be some layup. No, they've got
No, it's
to
not a
go up
layup.
against Taylor. I would say we're seeing some good things out of the run defense, right? Obviously, stopping Saquon, um, 13 yards in the first half. But do you think that the Rams' run D is out of the woods when they're up against what they're going to go up against with Indy?
Absolutely not. Jonathan Taylor
Yeah.
leads the NFL in rushing yards right now. So, yeah, maybe Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL, but Jonathan Taylor is what, top 5? He had a down year last year, but yeah, the run defense does not get any break
Yeah.
against the Colts. I would argue that Taylor is their MVP over Daniel Jones right now. And that's not a knock on Daniel Jones. I mean, he's top 5 in passing yards, number 2 total offense, like you said. But their offense and defenses are designed to stop Jonathan Taylor. And he catches passes out of the backfield, and he can run and break home runs all the time. So that's priority number 1 for me. It's stopping the run up on the Rams, and then getting after Daniel Jones. In the past, Daniel Jones has played tremendously thus far, so you have to give him credit. But in the past, when you get pressure on Daniel Jones, he becomes a little bit more erratic with the football, like a lot of quarterbacks do. So that is going to be incumbent upon a Byron Young and a Jared Verse to get after Daniel Jones, to have him under duress, and so he can maybe be erratic with the football.
Yeah, I mean, and the Rams are gonna be angry right now. And look, it's not just going up against Jonathan Taylor. The next 3 weeks, the Rams run D have a couple of challenges aside from him. They're gonna go up against Christian McCaffrey. They're gonna have to deal with Derrick Henry. So I mean, I think we'll see a better metric of understanding of what, like you said, would you call it, the litmus test? I think that this will be a litmus
Yeah,
test for
litmus test,
everybody.
measuring stick. Yeah,
Measuring stick, but yeah, I would say one of the things that I was just beyond impressed by is, again, back to back to back strong leadership and performance from the middle of the defense with Nate Landman. They sacked Jalen Hurts 4 times,
yeah.
3 which came from Jared Verse, Byron Young, and Poona Ford. Which, didn't you say you really liked that offseason signing? Right?
Most underrated offseason
Yeah,
signing.
that's
Poona
right.
Ford.
Is this going to be a high scoring affair or a low scoring? FanDuel Sportsbook has it set at 49.5. What do you say? I mean, I think that feels kind of fair considering, like you said, Daniel Jones is sort of throwing the ball around. But what do you think?
I like that. I have it about like 27-21 Rams. So I like that. I like that FanDuel prediction. Told you I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go ahead and bet.
Part what?
I'm gonna have to go ahead and bet on
Oh,
FanDuel.
go bet. Yeah, go bet. Go tell your friends to bet. And I think while we wrap this up and look to week 4 for the Rams to get back in that win column, facing an undefeated team in the Colts, I will say one of the things that I've been optimistic by is the resilience or the durability after of Matthew Stafford, because I think we were
Yeah,
all very concerned. He wasn't going to be able to hold up after the Texans game. And now he's
right.
faced 3 strong defenses and he's been taken down. He's been getting hit left and right. I mean, we don't know what his back is actually feeling. But he took that one hit during the game and he was really slow to get up. And I
hmm
was like, oh, this is it. This is the end. Thank you, Stafford. And I will say, between him and Sean McVay, one of the things that Sean McVay said during his post game presser, which I loved, was, look, we had 161 plays, 160 of them were great, or at least I'm proud of the guys. And I think this is the test that you can across the board say, whether you're a football fan or just a human fan, having to deal with adversity, feeling like, you tried, you put a whole, 4 quarters of effort into the last 40 seconds, not even, and you don't pull off what you want. The sounds from Rams locker room is pure, like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to get
hmm
back on and we're not going to let this stop us. I appreciate that because I think that's a Sean McVay led type of mentality, right?
Yeah, you can tell that Sean McVay just gives this team a lot of confidence, a lot of optimism. You can even hear it in his press conferences each and every week, and that helps the team. They know that they're a good team. They know that they're a championship caliber team, and you can see it when they went up, traveled in a hostile environment in Philadelphia, and pretty much outplayed them the entire game, albeit in a loss. And another thing you said about Matthew Stafford, I am pleasantly surprised how his back has held up. Yes, there's been some moments where he's gotten up slow, But if I'm Stafford, I have like a masseuse and a chiropractor like on speed dial. Like every day after
Yeah,
practice, I am
yeah.
getting to the chiropractor and a back massage every
Yeah,
day.
and by the way, his performance hasn't really dipped. I mean, the dude
No,
did not play at all during training camp. He is firing missiles to Puka. He's getting light, like surgically accurate
yeah,
passes to Devontae, and Stafford's doing. I mean, fingers crossed the guy keeps maintains, feeling okay. Obviously, player health is the most important, but it certainly hasn't seemed like it's impacted his accuracy. And let's not forget, guys. And I know we need to wrap, but how are we feeling really quickly? I need to vent.
okay.
When are we going to see Terrence Ferguson active? He was inactive again. How do we feel about that? What's going on? Tell me. Spill the tea.
I mean, you will as a second round pick, you would like to see him be a little bit more productive, at least active. But
Is it just
maybe
the tight end room is deep? I mean,
I don't think it's that deep.
okay.
I just think
Hmm.
maybe sometimes it takes rookies a little while to get acclimated to the speed of the game. It takes them a little while to get up to speed with the NFL. So you would
Yeah.
hope it's that, especially for a second round pick, because second round picks, you hope that they're contributors right away. They might not be starters, but you would hope that they're
Yeah.
contributing on the field right away in year one.
Yeah. I mean, he had that groin injury during training camp, so he missed a little bit of time. But certainly, again, perusing social media, a lot of people kind of just like, hey, this is a guy that we picked pretty high or,
Yeah.
decided to spend a high draft, an important draft pick in the first selection of the Rams draft this year. They'd like to see some production, but we'll see. I'm sure they know what they're doing over there. So hopefully things will pan out better for Terrence Ferguson. We were feeling this way about Blake Corum last year. So,
This is true.
um, but yeah, anyways, that is a wrap for us. We
You
went
have to
long,
tell the
but
fans where you're at first.
I know. Okay, fine. We're short on time, but you know what, guys? Guess what? I'm down under. If you've gone on my social media, if you checked out my Instagram, I am checking out the sights and scenes of Melbourne, Australia. There is a little
Yeah.
game. It's insane. It is I mean, let me tell you something. You thought fans were crazy about contact sports in America. It is a spoken language. So they have what's called the AFL Grand Final.
Hmm.
And when I tell you the passion, it's like there is something in the air this week. They give their nation a national day, like it's a national holiday. They give the public a day off. The Friday before. They're like, just you know what? Just have the weekend because you're gonna celebrate so hard. You need a day off to prepare for the week ahead. So it's been absolutely unbelievable. The jet lag's been crazy. I've been up since 4 a.m. pretty much every day, thinking I was gonna get this show off without a hitch. I had some issues with the internet.
So,
Um, Operator error. Okay.
and enjoy Australia down under,
Thank you.
below the
Um,
equator, right? I think you're
yeah,
below the
and
equator. Yeah.
Southern Hemisphere. Their Melbourne Cricket Ground, I got a full tour of it. It's the largest in the Southern Hemisphere. And yeah, it's 100,000. It's like the Southern Coliseum. Obviously, I went to USC. Um,
Here we go. Way to ruin it.
Shaking my head. Way to ruin it, Tyler. Tyler, of course, as you guys know, is a huge Bruin. He went there. But yeah, no, it's really amazing here. The people are cool. It's like a pinch me moment, and I feel very fortunate. And I may not come back, so we'll have to get my
Oh, you're gonna
internet
come back.
situated. I mean, it is. It's amazing. And you know what? Look, the Rams are playing here next year. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
figure out who we got to talk to get this assignment
Right.
and come back here next year. But yeah, it's all about the global NFL expansion and the relationship between the AFL and the NFL, and it's amazing. So this is literally like day two for me. So
Well,
But
enjoy
yeah,
Australia. Hope you have a great time down there. Be safe, have fun, and safe travels when you come back to LA. Your
you're the
real home.
best. You're the best, Tyler. I appreciate you. My co-host of Bleav in Rams, presented by FanDuel. You can catch all of his amazing. By the way, I was reading your work on USAToday.com. Nice prediction there you got for the Rams. I appreciate that. I'm Erin Coscarelli, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.